turning your pain into your power equals resilience. Growing up, I watched both of my grandmothers work as nurses' aides to provide for their families. Both migrated from Jamaica, West Indies, to the United States. They were my role models and the epitome of what a powerful Black woman is. They would also inspire me and spark my interest in healthcare. My paternal grandmother passed away while I was in high school. She died from a rare form of brain cancer that had metastasized throughout her body. That would be the turning point that made me really want to get into healthcare. I figured out that I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I said, I'm going to find a cure for the cancer that killed her. And then when I was in high school discussing all of these plans, the grand plans, me becoming a neurosurgeon, my guidance counselor kindly reminded me, he said, Shantay, you hate math. And I said, yeah, you're right, I do. I do hate math. How is that going to work out? He was like, I don't know. So he said, why don't you consider going into nursing? And I said, okay, I'll look into the field of nursing. And let me tell you, becoming a nurse was the best decision I ever made. As you know, nurses are the heartbeat of healthcare, and we are the #1 most trusted profession in the country. So people ask me, how did you go from nursing to becoming into a nonprofit? And I say that it was created out of a necessity. But before I get into that, I would just want to say that becoming a nurse has been a great experience. I'm a proud Binghamton alum from the Decker School of Nursing. I have been a registered nurse for the past 23 years. My specialty is in orthopedics, trauma, bariatrics, and neurosurgery, so I kind of circle back to neurosurgery, even though I'm not a neurosurgeon. And now I work in outpatient neurology, still in neuro. So starting my nonprofit was done out of necessity because during that time, I had just gone through a bad breakup, and I fell into a depression. I was spiraling downward into a very dark place, and it was becoming so negative that it started to affect me at home, at work, and in my personal life. I couldn't see it at the time, or maybe I didn't want to see it, but thank God that my 3 best friends saw it and recognized that I was depressed. They staged an intervention and called my parents. So you have to know these ladies are amazing that actually go to step to call your family to let them know they see something going on with you. And we had a come to Jesus moment. My parents, my friends, and I knew that I had to channel that negative energy into something positive. Woman of Integrity was a result of that. What I went through in that relationship, I didn't want any other young woman to go through or any other woman to go through. And I decided to turn my pain into my power and kind of reclaim who I was. In the beginning of creating Woman of Integrity, it was not an easy journey because I didn't know where or how to begin. I didn't know anything about starting a nonprofit at all. I just knew nursing. But what I did know was that I wanted to be of service and give back to my community. Because growing up, I was blessed to be surrounded by loving, supportive, and strong women. And I wanted Women of Integrity to be that support system, that community, and that just safe space for other women in my community, what I was blessed to have. So we got a lot of no's in the beginning, a lot of late nights. There were times as this, I struggled like trying to figure out where do I go, what do I do? But I just knew that I couldn't give up because this was the burning desire in me now that had me channeling the negative energy into something positive. And so I remember our first ever prom dress giveaway. Well, didn't really turn into a giveaway. It was really more of a drive because we only collected 10 dresses. It was an epic fail, first time around. And I cried. I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? My mom was like, you gotta just relax. People don't know who we are yet. Don't give up. Because in that moment, I wanted to give up. And she's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, okay. So I had to tell myself, Shantay, this is a purpose. There's a reason why you're doing this. So they may not know you now, but you're gonna have to put in the work for them to know you. So I put in the work. I started networking, putting my feet to the ground, and I built up the organization. And what started out as an idea in my basement has now gone on to be an award-winning, successful organization in Long Island. We have been blessed to serve hundreds of girls over the years, which is something that I'm extremely proud of. We all face adversity, hardship, or challenges. And along the way, I came up with some strategies to help me cope and to help me become successful in overcoming those hardships. I like to call I have three strategies that I like to call Nurse Carter's strategies to maximize success. They are 1, collaboration, 2, connect, 3, confidence. Collaboration is learning to work with others to be able to inspire change and to make an impact. You want to always surround yourself with positive, like-minded people who are going to support you in whatever you're planning to do and take you to the next level. Can't have any naysayers in your circle. Having those people in your corner or working with you will help you to optimize your success. 2, connect. You have to be vulnerable and show empathy, especially in nursing, if you're going to connect with people, especially your patients. You have to be able to be vulnerable so they can see the real you. If not, you will never be able to create a rapport or to have your patients trust you, or even your colleagues if they're not going to trust you. And in being vulnerable, you have to be willing to be open and to share yourself and your journey honestly so that people can relate to you. Because once you are open, you can create more meaningful connections, and also along the way, you can inspire others in their journey and in their truth. 3, confidence. Confidence is knowing who you are and standing in your power, knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you are enough, and that you are destined for greatness. Confidence is walking in a room and owning it, despite you being nervous and having jitters, but knowing that you have a purpose. Confidence is just knowing that you are here for a mission. You have figured out your passion, and now it's led you to your purpose, and you have to do the work. Confidence is just, honestly, just owning who you are. And you just have to be able to display that and let people know and build up others along the way. So during our height of our success, the pandemic hit in 2020. And during the pandemic, we were all on lockdown. So it was almost kind of like a social experiment because we were all locked down. Everybody was experiencing the same experience. Everybody shared those feelings of anxiety, stress, depression. Everyone may have lost a loved one or know someone who lost a loved one. People may have lost their jobs or know someone who lost their job. And during that time, I also faced personal challenges and financial challenges and business struggles that made me had to pivot. Because what the pandemic made me realize, for me, as a healthcare professional, that I was expendable. And I could be a hero one day and a zero the next. So I had to figure out a way to make myself more marketable, because I knew at this point I was going to be transitioning from the bedside and leaving the hospital. So during that time, I had to kind of sit back, think, reflect, meditate, and journal, because I had to be able to be still to kind of figure out what was going to be my next step. So I wasn't just leaving the bedside and kind of jumping into nothing, no plan or anything. Because as nurses, you know, we love to plan so we can execute. We love every detail. We have to know this. We have time and date, and so we have to know. So to not know and be a nurse is kind of doesn't really work. Our brains don't work like that. So I had to take that time to sit and be still and realize that I needed to regroup and rebuild myself. Because if I'm going to leave the bedside, I needed to have an exit strategy and know what I wanted to do. So you use that time to rebuild, and also incorporated my 3 C's to elevate myself and my career so that I can be more marketable. So during that time of the pandemic, I joined the American Nurses Association so I can use my voice to advocate for nurses and their struggles during the pandemic. I also joined the Black Nurses Association to use my voice for the advancement of nurses of color. I became the 2021 ANA New York 9th Annual Conference keynote speaker to be able to also use my voice in that platform. I also received the 2021 Nurse Entrepreneur of the Year Award from the Greater New York City Black Nurses Association. I became a member of Chi Phi Nursing Sorority, also became a member of Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing. All of these things help me now to market myself, and also had time to get 5 other licenses in 5 states to say if I want to travel, I can do that. All of these things are now on my resume, allowed me to enter my journey into outpatient neurology, because I was able to use that as leverage to elevate myself and elevate my position and where I wanted to go in my nursing career. To be successful and overcome hardships, you have to be intentional in everything that you do. You have to know who is in your network and utilize them, because they say your network is your net worth, okay? You have to be strategic in every opportunity that you use to empower yourself and better yourself. And you have to utilize the 3 C's of collaboration, connect, and confidence. You know, because when you're going through the hardship, all you need is one person to believe in you. Because if that one person believes in you, it will allow you to have the strength and courage to believe in yourself. It just takes one person, right? Me being here today is proof that someone believed in me. And I appreciate them for believing in me to allow me to share my story. You have to be able to inspire others. Believe in yourself so you can inspire others and create an impact. Because if not, what is going to be your legacy? Right? If you're not thinking positive or surrounding yourself with positive, like-minded people, you'll fall into that rabbit hole of self-sabotage and negative thinking, which we all know can be very hard to break free from. So what are you doing? Right? How are you turning your pain into your power? How are you taking back and owning and becoming who you are destined to be? So with that being said, my strategies hopefully will help you to overcome any adversity or challenges that you may face, but knowing that you need to be strategic so you can implement the right steps, knowing that you have to know who's in your network, you have to just really be vulnerable also to kind of show the real you. I hope that my strategies, you'll take them away and that you can use them and impart them into your daily life or into practice. And I hope that you'll be able to overcome any challenge that you may face in the future to be able to empower yourself, empower your colleagues, your friends, empower and advocate for your community. Thank you.